Welcome to The Casting Dead, a podcast for The Walking Dead on AMC. I'm Matt.
And I'm David.
And today we'll be discussing Season 7, Episode 11, Hostiles and Calamities. What did you think of this episode?
It was interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah, I liked the character progression. What character progression? It was a good episode on characters.
It was like a character regression for Eugene.
You could say that, but they're still moving forward. So yeah, it's still
I guess so.
Yeah, but
slightly. You might have to help me out a little bit on the timeline of all this.
How so?
Well, we'll get to it.
Right.
Maybe it'll work itself out. I saw this once and then a second time really rushed so I could take notes. How many times did you see this?
I saw this twice.
Okay.
I know where you're going at with the timeline, though. That's
yeah. So, another. It's like a bottle episode, right?
What do you mean by that?
Well, just all in one place again.
Well,
a little bit of Dwight going off on his own, but other than that, it's really a story about Eugene becoming a pimp.
Right. With
in
no
a
profits, though.
Yes.
Direct profits, anyway.
Platonic relationship. I did feel bad for Dwight. I didn't feel bad for Dwight. I felt bad for Eugene.
You feel bad for Eugene? Okay.
Yeah, like when he's actually getting brought into this like dark, gloomy cell right before he is, shown a nicer room.
Right.
The terror on his face, the sobbing.
Yeah, he was.
I pictured myself in that same situation. It's like, that would be pretty terrifying. After you saw everything else that happened and you're kidnapped, you're brought to this place.
He's been beaten once already too.
Yeah, he hasn't really understood his value.
Well, I think he before,
at the end of this episode for sure he has. Even
has.
Halfway through, but
right
at the very beginning he's not sure what's going to happen to him.
You've been hearing about what people have been saying on Twitter. Maybe it's more appropriate to say later, but I guess we'll go after the recap.
You,
what people
you gauge because I don't know.
You gauge. Oh, okay, all right.
You say it when you want. I haven't done any
know.
research on this episode. I haven't read anything. I haven't seen anything.
That's fine.
So Hostiles and Calamities begins just moments after Fat Joey was beat down. Dwight realizes Daryl is gone and goes searching frantically for him, and he finds the note that Sherry wrote to him.
That's right.
Saying, "Go now."
Mm-hmm.
So, did you guess that it was Sherry who let him out?
I suppose. Part of me,
well, yes or no, David? Did you say it was Sherry, or did you say it was someone else?
Well, it had to be her. I mean, that's
okay.
That's what deduction is. I mean, it's just because you're never sure until you see it. But then you could pretty much tell it was her since Dwight rushes back to go check the cell. You could easily say, okay, he told him to go and he wanted to check if he was gone, or after he freaked out that he was gone, then obviously it's not him.
Yeah, this is moments after.
Right,
we hear the engine still going from
exactly. Yeah,
the bike. Now, did Daryl take back his original bike?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I remember it was like more rusty looking bike.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think he had time to really choose, okay, which one's my bike? I can't leave without my bike.
Yeah. So Dwight sees this. Everyone sees it. They're not happy about it, but Dwight sees this and he understands the gravity of what this means. Because he was in charge of Daryl.
Right.
Daryl went missing. Daryl killed Fat Joey, which we know Negan seems to love. To make fun of him.
Right, he liked to pick on him. He was a good scapegoat, a button of a joke all the time.
Yeah, definitely didn't want him to die. So
no,
Dwight is going to feel the wrath on this one, I think. Well, not I think. It happened.
Right.
So this is all intercut, though, with Negan's team bringing Eugene in.
Did you notice that he put a bag over his head?
Yeah.
And they're in a dark truck.
Yep.
They take him out of the truck and they remove the bag, and I'm thinking to myself, was the bag necessary?
Yeah.
He doesn't see outside. He's in the back of a truck, a dark truck. They don't know where so the bag was completely unnecessary.
Didn't they do the same thing to Daryl when they kidnapped him?
Maybe.
Put like a canvas bag over his head?
It was apparent to me that he did to Eugene. I'm like, if you're in the back of a dark truck, and I went back for it, like as soon as the first commercial came along, I rewinded back and I said, why did he put the dark bag over his head? Like they're in a dark truck and you can't see outside.
Yeah, that's true.
I kind of find that funny, but if they did it to Daryl, I don't remember.
Yeah, well, there were other people riding in the back with him. Maybe they just didn't want to see his sobbing red face.
Maybe that's what it was.
Covering up that haircut. So,
would you come up with something better to call him for? Like, not haircut, really, roadkill, like something to mock the mullet, but they call him haircut.
Why would you call him roadkill?
I don't know, just because
haircut at least makes sense.
Wait, but like the mullet could look like roadkill on some people. And if you look in the back of Eugene's, it looks like roadkill if you put it on pavement or something. I called most people. I feel like I refer to like mullets as roadkill almost. Like I would say it looked like roadkill.
That seems like a you thing, like a
That's
solely
fine. I didn't
David
say it was
thing.
universal. I'm just saying haircuts. Like it's a lack of a haircut, if anything.
It's a party. It's business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah, totally.
That's
but
it's
just a
two
haircut.
haircuts. Do you think they're gonna? You think he's gonna get cut? They got a barber.
I don't know. He still has it. He still has it on The Talking Dead. So I'm pretty sure he filmed the season with the mullet the whole time. So
yeah.
So that's a dead giveaway.
Dead giveaway. So how does the timeline work here exactly? So, Fat Joey is killed,
right?
And Daryl drives off, and within 15 minutes, that's when Negan returns with.
I suppose I don't. What gives it away that it's 15 minutes later?
Well, just because I
don't think the motors are actually necessarily.
Dwight's still looking. Dwight's like frantically looking around.
Right, but point. I don't think it's the. I think the sounds of the motors are like part of it. Did you say before that it was Daryl's motorcycle getting away, or you thought it was like Negan's trucks coming in?
No, it sounded like his motorcycle getting away.
Maybe.
Everything was still fresh, you know.
I guess, yeah.
Anyway,
that's true.
Sure.
Yeah,
that sandwich seemed pretty fresh.
It's true. Yeah, there's no flies around it.
So I guess it makes sense. I just didn't really think about it. It just seemed like so many episodes ago that this
So technically,
happened.
this whole thing's a flashback, not a flashback, but it takes place obviously before the events we've already seen.
Yeah, I don't need to see what Rick's doing because we've already seen it.
Exactly.
We see Eugene get some pretty nice digs. You know, he doesn't have to stay in a cell. He gets the place that Daryl would have gotten if Daryl had said he was Negan. Mm-hmm. So they're trying out a different tactic with Eugene.
I just feel like you don't put Eugene in a dark cell. Like he's already terrified just being there.
Yeah.
So it's and he's not trying to be. He's not going to make him a soldier. He's not going to be a go-getter. He's going to be he's going to be a smarty pants.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was a really smart move for Negan and his team to.
But if he just did that with everybody, maybe more people would be on board.
No, because you had to break Daryl.
Yes.
With Eugene, he's already broken. You just want to show him that you can offer him better living conditions than where he was. Offer him everything else. But for
let's just calculate the odds for some reason. So if this is working on Eugene, showing him the luxury right away. With Dwight and Daryl, it didn't work. Well, from with Dwight, it doesn't seem like it's working very well. With Daryl, it did not work at all. So technically, the method used on Eugene seems to be in Negan's favor more than his other method.
Yeah, Eugene's a special case, though.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, it
agree.
works with his women too, with his wives. They give in to his will and they get a pretty nice life.
Well, yeah,
they get treated well.
That's true. Yeah.
So
they have to. Well, Eugene doesn't have to have sex with Negan.
No, the wives don't have to either.
Well,
he's never forced himself on them.
No, he's not. But they're
implied
they're married. It's implied. So it's still
you're not going to have a marriage without that. So I did
argue. Other people argue you could. So
okay. Well, that's grounds for divorce. You can get divorced because of that.
That's true.
So this is kind of weird. The first thing he does in there is he starts looking at the books, and he's like, "You guys have a library?" He's already ready to love this place, call this place home.
He's about to hang his hat.
Yeah. I don't know what's the name of the savior with the nose ring.
Oh, I don't think we've ever known her name.
I don't know. I'll call her Nose Ring for now.
We call her Nose Ring. She calls him Haircut. She hit on Spencer on this, on the mid-season finale, I think, right?
Yeah, and now she's moving on to bigger things.
I don't think so. I feel like
wider things.
I still don't think so.
So she's been pretty cool to him, though.
She has.
Better than she was when they were at Alexandria. She's, offering him anything to eat, but not lobster. No lobster. Orange pasta, though. Sure, you can have that.
Really? Orangey pasta? I've never heard of that. What is that?
Well, they just didn't know the name of the sauce. It might be like a rosé sauce or something. It's a little orangey sometimes.
I know that in the post-apocalypse, but even in the post-apocalypse, I wouldn't request for orangey sauce.
know your sauces, man.
I do know my sauces.
Not you. These people.
Oh, totally, yeah.
And don't offer anything they want to eat. You know that Eugene's going to have some weird tastes. Turns out it's orangey pasta and pickles.
I guess he's pregnant.
Yeah, maybe. What does Eugene have against eating fresh kettle chips?
I have no idea. That's a great idea. I got some sweet potatoes at home. I'm going to make some chips out of those eventually with some good sea salt. I don't know why you would not crave that.
I don't believe that you're going to do that, but
that's not
I
nice. And
believe that you like kettle chips. Number 42 is probably insulted. He's been working, slaving to make these chips.
Right.
And then we see he's grooving a little bit to Easy Street on the stereo. If you remember, this is a song that
how do
they
you
tried
not
to break
remember?
Daryl. And Dwight didn't even have to play this for Eugene. Eugene just played it on his own. He's kind of feeling it.
I wonder, like, wait, how close are they to like the cell and everything? Like, it's
real close.
Yeah, I get it, because like, where they're all in close proximity. So like, Dwight's cell is right next to Eugene's current cell.
I think so.
I guess that's what it seems to be. And Eugene has a bigger TV, from what I noticed.
Than who?
Than Dwight.
Yeah, Dwight's room is kind of messy, but I think that's just what Dwight makes of it.
Right, but he still has a smaller TV though.
Yeah, I
that's
guess.
A shame.
And for someone who's watching TV all the time, watching the Who's the Boss.
Right, yeah, you totally have a bigger TV.
So Negan then has some of his men beat Dwight up for losing Daryl. And we go to credits.
Didn't you like that shot behind Negan?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we wouldn't see Negan at all.
Yeah, exactly. I wish we haven't seen Negan up until this point ever, and then that'd be his first shot, his first sign of suspense of like, oh, that's Negan, can't wait to see him, but we've already seen him.
Well, even the next scene when we come back, it's just his voice talking to Dwight from outside the cell, basically
that's
just
true.
taunting him,
telling
him that Sherry is missing, which is news to Dwight. Dwight tries to cover for her. I guess he knows that she's missing. He kind of puts all the pieces together at this point. He already has a little note.
Right.
So, did you find that this scene kind of highlighted Dwight's scars a little differently? Like they made them very obvious. Sometimes I see his scars and they don't look too bad. Other times, like this, the lighting was
very
really
like
harsh
Kruger.
on him.
Yeah, it was like really Kruger-ish.
Yeah. So I feel like this is maybe the writers, and just the way he was looking, the way that he was receiving everything that Negan was saying was maybe the writer saying this is the point where he's kind of turning on.
Right, this is the turning point
maybe
for him.
Maybe the start of it.
Yeah, he's cementing where he wants to be.
Yeah, I don't think it was well earned. I think it's kind of a forced turn for. I think the best time to have him turn is not show us that he ever truly gave in to Negan. Well, and the time to do that would have been.
I still say it's debatable by the end of this. I'd
say by the end of this, I am even more confused about the role that Dwight is playing because of the whole memory loss thing that they introduce.
That was weird. I don't know why they brought that up. That's just a weird... I don't know. That's just...
They made a big point about it, though. Like, really about how, like, oh, you won't remember this tomorrow.
Well, I feel like Sherry just trying to basically take jabs at him. I don't feel like it's something that we have to really focus on. Because, even I would say I have a bad short-term memory sometimes. This is
different.
Myself.
This seemed like a medical condition, like something...
I don't know about that.
She mentioned it a few times, so we'll get to that.
I feel like she's taking jabs at him. I feel that way.
Well, she wasn't trying to take jabs at him. She
apologized.
Totally no, not in the letter that she wrote.
Well, she kind of is, some of these things. Because she was saying that, you forget... I know she was... Okay, we'll get to it.
We'll get to it. Well, there's some debate to be had there, I suppose, and just I need to figure it out a little better.
Well, we will. We'll deduct it.
So Negan lets him out, tells him to go find Sherry, and then eventually they'll find Daryl. Hopefully before he kills both of them.
Right.
They know the stakes are high now. So the doctor patches Dwight up and shares some kind words about Sherry. Just
enough for him to maybe draw his attention, I guess.
Yeah, just enough. Dwight is mad as heck and nostalgic to a point. Sets out to find her. So he's still in love with her. Still probably kind of hates her. It's a love-hate relationship.
Well,
because she did destroy his face.
That's right.
I don't understand why they ever went back. They knew how bad it was.
I think that is the only thing that comes to question about their whole situation. I just, if they had this house and they had this okay, we'll get to it.
If it was ever a moment of debate whether or not they should return, they're better living out on the streets and dying by starvation than going back there.
Well, I guess so. They learned that way. They learned the hard way. It's like, I don't want to starve to death. Back there we had food. I don't know. It's weird. I just feel like they couldn't. Maybe they knew they couldn't evade Negan, but yeah.
Well, just keep going. Just stop stopping everywhere.
Right, that's true.
Eugene notices a not so stealthy, low class savior steal something off a table. Don't know what she stole. But he keeps it to himself.